In today's video, we're going to take a look at how to make these beautiful looking jack-o'-lanterns. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is start a new document and go ahead and save it, and let's just call it pumpkin. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we're going to do create form. This is a little different than what we're used to. We'll go up to create and we'll say sphere. We'll pick a plane and then we'll click that origin point. It says it wants a center point. For our dimensions, let's go ahead and make it something simple like 10. Now notice over here, I've got 10 in the sphere box. For longitude faces, I want 12. For latitude faces, I want 12. For symmetry, I want it to say circular. And for symmetric faces, I want it to say 3. So that's what we actually want right there. We'll go ahead and click OK on that. Kind of rotate that around to show you we have a sphere. I'm going to go up to modify and say edit form. And right now it's set to be on a face right there. So I'm going to change that to be edge. And what I'm going to do is click on that green line. So I'm going to leave 2 open. I'm going to hold the shift key down and click on the line. I'm going to drag this arrow out some. I don't want to go too far with that because it still needs to look like a pumpkin, right? So I'll click OK. Now I've got a lot of chaos happening on my screen, so I'm going to go up to symmetry and I'm going to say clear symmetry because over the course of the next few things I don't want it to happen on both sides. So I'll hit clear symmetry now. And I'm going to come up to the top here. And I'm going to click on one of the triangles. I'm going to hold the shift key and double click. And it'll select everything in that area. Now on my keyboard, I'm going to press the delete key. And that'll open that up for me. So I'll go back up to say modify. I'm going to say edit form. What I'm going to do is go around now while I'm holding the shift key again. And I'm going to click on each one of these edges. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the video so not to take up too much time. Okay, now I've got everything selected. I got all those lines selected. So now what I'm going to do is press the Alt key, and this will allow me to extrude. So I'm going to press Alt. I'm going to grab this dot for a minute here and kind of scoop things in some. And then let's start grabbing the arrows. Remember, hold that Alt key down. And it starts extruding. I'll continue to go up a little bit. Now I'm probably going to rotate it because the natural, a pumpkin's going to be crooked. And I can also grab these arrows as well and kind of shift it to the side a little bit. Now I'm going to see the dot right in the middle. I'm going to grab it, press the Alt key, make it go in. And I let go and I'm going to do it one more time, but this time I'm going to go ahead and finish the job. And I'm going to type a 0 in there, and that will close it off. And I can do the same thing to the bottom if I wanted to. So I could come in here, just like we did before to the top. I can say modify, edit form. Make sure I'm on faces, right? Click one, hold the shift key and double click, and it'll grab everything. And then I can go ahead and grab an arrow and kind of scoop things how I want them to go. And press OK. So I've got the form, I've got the pumpkin kind of the way I want it to go. What I'm going to do now is click Finish Form. So now that we're back into our design workspace, we can begin breaking this thing apart a little bit, making it more manageable. The first thing I'm going to do is break this down into 3 components. I want the stem as a component, I want the body of the pumpkin as a component, and I kind of want the top to come off too, right? So I am going to go up here and highlight the origin. So I'm going to turn the visibility of the origin on. So you can see what it does is puts those planes up for me. Now I'll go to construct. I'm going to grab this plane here and bring it up to where I want that top to come off at. So it's going to be a lot of rotating. I'll move it up a little bit more, maybe right in there. and I'll press OK. Now I'm going to use the split body tool. So I'll click split body. It says, what body do you want to split? I'll say right there. Then it says splitting tool. I'll have to hit select. And then I'm going to zoom in and actually, well, if I can't get that plane, I'll go over here to construction where I put the plane, and then I'll click it. And click OK. Okay, so now we have two bodies. And we have a body, which is actually where the jack-o'-lantern is going to be. Then we have a top as well. Another thing I can do is I can create another plane and make this stem as a separate piece. But one thing I've found that I like a little bit better is I'll go ahead and I'll continue and I'll take another construction plane and I'm going to put it above everything. So I'm going to make sure that that's above the stem, and I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to come back on sketch and I'm going to draw a circle around the stem. And if I don't get that placed perfectly, it's okay because I can grab the center and kind of move it around. I'm going to hit finish sketch here. And I'm going to use the same kind of tool, but it's a little bit different. So now I'll use split again. I'm going to say I want this body, and the splitting tool this time is going to be that circle. And I'll press OK. So now what you see here is I've got three bodies. 1, 2, and then 3. So now we're going to go up here. I'm going to turn the origin and construction planes off now because I don't need those anymore. And you notice I've got some of those hidden lines still in here. So I'm going to go down to visual style now, our display setting. And for visual style, I'm going to just turn it to shaded. And that's going to help me out and see things a little better. What I want to do though is separate these into components. So I'm going to look at bodies. Body 1 is the actual body. So I'm going to say create components. I'll rename that just to stay organized. So I'm going to say body of pumpkin. Now for the body 2 here, that looks like the stem. And body 3 is the top. So I'm going to say for body 3, I'm going to right click on it and say create components. And I'll rename this top of pumpkin. And then finally, for the last body, I'll right click on it and say create components. And I'll rename this thing to stem. Okay, so now I've got 3 separate components. They all can move. You notice the body of that pumpkin is solid right now. So I'm going to go up to shell. I'm going to click in there. I'll make it 0.125. After I do that, I can press OK. Now, something that you may want to try is that you may try like, well, I want to make it a 1/4 inch. You have to be really careful on a shell like this because it's very intricate in there. So it may be too big. I've got the parts to my jack-o'-lantern. Now I want to go ahead and make a face on this thing. So I'm going to go back up to origin and turn it on. And you see there's a plane for me. So I'm going to right click on a plane that's kind of perpendicular. So I'll right click and I'll just say create sketch. Capture the position. Now that's inside, so I can come over here and choose slice graphic, and that'll kind of open it up and let me see things a little bit better. So I'll go up to create and I'm going to say polygon. And it really didn't matter which type. But what I am going to do, I'm going to tab over where it says 6. I'm going to make it say 3. So I've got the patented triangular eyes. I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. So I'm going to make another triangular shape. And if I want, I could come over here and use the equals constraint. I can say, give me that side and that side to be equal. I could also measure if I wanted things to be equidistant. For that matter, I could just kind of click on the center and move it around a little bit. That's the beauty of triangles. Then I'm going to go down. I'm going to use the spline tool for the bottom. So I'm kind of clicking and drawing lines, and really the only way to learn the spline tool is to click on it and use it. I'll click finish sketch. You see that sketch is inside there. So what I'll do now is I'm going to use the extrude tool. And I'm going to click on those sketches. that I put inside, so it may require some rotating. Probably would have been best just to leave the slice graphic tool on. I'm going to go ahead and just drag it through and press OK. So there, I've got it. Now what I'll do is go ahead and turn the origin back off. Now we've got all those parts, but I'm going to go and select just the body of the pumpkin. So it kind of just isolates that. I'm going to press the A key for appearances. And for my paint, I'll click that in, and I'm going to just drag the yellow over. I could duplicate this and then say edit, and I could actually bring it over here and kind of pick more of an orange if I wanted to. And I could press done. Notice it's orange now. I could drag that over. Okay. While I'm at it, I'll go ahead and edit this one more time and just change this to be orange. And again, all I did was duplicate the yellow and then change it by edit. Now in the inside, I think what I'm going to do is I'll make it black. So I'm going to check faces up here because I just want the inside. And I'll grab the black and drag it over. Now it's inside. Now press close. Alright, I've got that component taken care of. Now I'm going to go to the top of the pumpkin and highlight just that area. I'll press the A key again. That'll pull up appearances. Here's orange. So I'll pull it to the top. I think I'll rotate it around and I'll go ahead and make the bottom. Remember, I'm just going to do the face, the bottom face. So I'll check faces and grab black over there. Press OK. So I've got that taken care of. Now I'm going to go to the stem. And the stem's a little different. I'll do appearance, which is A. I think I'm just going to grab the green and click close. So now I'm going to turn the entire assembly back on. So I've got everything selected. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and save everything. Probably be better to save more often than what I have in the video. For version description, I'm just going to say added colors to components. And press OK. And essentially what I've got to do now is just put the thing together again. So I'll use joint. And I'm going to kind of click in the circle here. And then I'll come over here to this pumpkin. And you can see it kind of put one there for me, a dot. But now I'm going to just try and realign this thing. So it's a lot of playing with numbers. And I'll press OK. And then finally my last step will be to insert the stem. So I'll click here, at joints, get the bottom of the stem. And then I'll click there. And I might have to put that down in there, so I can press OK. And now I've got my basic jack-o'-lantern